So I've got an awesome Pokemon Sun and Moon video for you guys today. We got news, discussion, and speculation. But first, I do want to lead off with Croagunk being in Pokken Tournament. Now, this was like a smaller news story that I couldn't really put into its own video because I don't know where the Pokken community is right now. I don't have a lot of playtime in the game. All I know is that people said, we don't want this silly frog. We wanted Greninja. So there was a little bit of confusion, maybe mixed with outrage right there. And I don't really know what else to say. I think it makes sense, personally, as a Pokemon fan, that there might be some cultural significance from the 4th generation with Croagunk. Also, Brock's Croagunk beats things up. Like, it is an agile fighter, and at least Croagunk does have that weirdness about it, but it can also beat things up. So, might make sense. I don't know where the Pokken community is. I don't know if it's like large enough for this to really matter anymore, but that is what we have for that update. Another one was that we had the North American TV trailer for Pokemon Sun and Moon. We will be talking about it in a bit with this video, but it's the 30-second video that doesn't show any new gameplay, so that's not worth its own video. However, let's lead off with some of the biggest news, even though it might not seem like it. Virtual console distribution of Mew to be at special Sun and Moon launch event in the UK. What this is saying is that there's Mew events. There's actually like Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow virtual console events going on, but that confirms Mew transfer into Pokemon Sun and Moon from the Pokebank or the Poke Transporter. So what is that going to mean for people that are using glitched Mews? Like, this is where it's going to start getting really interesting, because the make or break point is going to be in January, seeing what Pokemon get through. Now, I am absolutely confident that they are going to at least say no to Missing No. They intentionally left that glitch in, so they should be like, this doesn't have an ID value. This isn't a real Pokemon. Therefore, it's not going to like register as valid for the Pokemon Bank. But what about these Mews? Because now that Mews are going to be transferred over, are they going to be only allowing specific event Mews? And the only way I could see them doing that is through ID numbers. Also, by doing this, I learned that there's actually like a Japan event going on that did the same thing. Actually, when was this? End date? Wow. This is actually really early on, and I didn't hear anything about it. So this is going to be the interesting point right here. Are they going to block Pokemon coming through based on trainer IDs? Because the only way of obtaining Mew is through these official distributions, and if they all have the same ID, that means just say, alright, we let through these ID'd Mews, but we don't let through any other Mews, because those are glitched. So this is where things are going to get interesting, because if the other Mews make it through, then that means that the trainer fly glitch, Missing No glitch, all of this was left intentionally in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it's not necessarily an illegal exploit, because Pokemon has allowed it. So I think that is actually one of the most interesting things about Pokemon Sun and Moon for me, is that what's going to happen with the Pokebank and all these like crazy Pokemon that you can create in the Red, Blue, Yellow virtual console, since they decided to intentionally leave in the glitches. Things are going to get pretty crazy right there. Now let's talk about the Pokemon Sun and Moon trailer. It's a World Beyond trailer, and it's pretty much just like one of those live action, like get hype for Pokemon, crazy things happen in Pokemon, CGI running around, go out and enjoy the game, enjoy your life. But one of the things that really got me was that this base right here. But then that reminded me of this from the live action teaser. So this is another group of kids playing in a base, playing Pokemon. So I'm wondering what this means. Is this a callback to previous generations that you build your secret base and you play Pokemon in battle all day? Or is it actually like foreshadowing more bases or more something in Pokemon Sun and Moon? Because that base building is like one of the greatest things ever. Also, love the tires. That is a signature of secret bases. You know, we got like the old wooden tables and stuff like that. So I love the way that the base designs are done. But I'm wondering if like if this is like a theme between these two intentionally. And then that goes back to my theory, you know, build a house in Pokemon Sun and Moon or build a base in Pokemon Sun and Moon. We actually get hands-on in one of these empty plots, because each island in one of the major cities has an empty plot for seemingly no reason. And in the demo, we can actually visit this empty plot by just like running into it. That's between the police building and the Malasada shop, so you just go in and there's a I think it's a Machoke or a Machamp just sitting there, and it doesn't really do much. But I'm wondering if that means there's building going on. There's going to be something valuable to the space, and it doesn't make sense why there's one in every island unless there's going to be something that you get to interact with right there. So maybe it's something about building a house, building a customizable space. I don't know if it's going to go as far as secret base, because these are more, you know, isolated, remote, not even in like a city, but it might show some kind of customization that we have control over. I'm wondering if that's a part of these videos right here. And this has been a theory I've had since September, and maybe even a little before then, when I first saw like, yo, there's some interesting stuff going on, because it looks like there's a hammer right here, especially when you like zoom in. So we have clothing shop, hairstylist, hammer, TMs, and incense. So we have a nice little run of shops, but what is this going to mean? Does this go anywhere? Is that base building or what? And then also, I was looking at some other things. Now we're going to talk competitive Pokemon. Now we're going to talk like the future of insanity, because I did not notice this in one of the trailers, but Minior gets Shell Smash. Now, it does make a lot of sense now that you're thinking about it. It's like, oh, of course it's going to get Shell Smash. It has a shell that breaks because of the Shield's Down ability, but it's just that little extra bit of confirmation. So now, Minior is going to be terrifying, that you can Shell Smash, survive the hit even after the defense drop because you're in your shield form, but then that's going to make it easier for your shields to go down. You also can't get burned while setting up. You can't have anything stop you while setting up. Then when you see a Shell Smash Pokemon, your priorities are, I can paralyze it, or I can burn it, and then I just straight up win, because they're now weakened in defenses, and if they can't finish you with that burn KO, or if they're too slow from the paralysis, then bad things happen. Also, remember, paralysis is getting a nerf in Pokemon Sun and Moon, make it to where you only drop half speed instead of 3/4 speed. So after a Shell Smash, you're just going to be neutral speed if you do get paralyzed, which could maybe still find some outspeeds depending on the Pokemon that you are using. But the Shell Smash on Minior, that means, yeah, completely free from status. Then you switch to a new form, which gains offenses, gains speed. Now you outspeed everything. Now you outdamage everything. That's going to be interesting to see. The rock flying, though, will that go anywhere? And also, we don't have, like, other abilities to kind of go with it, because, alright, Cloyster, it's going to get Skill Link when it Shell Smashes, so it gets a 125 base power move, effectively. Same when we have Barbaracle. Barbaracle has Tough Claw, so depending on the move that you use to follow up, you know, Razor Shell does get a huge amount of damage on top of that. But then when we look at this, alright, we got the Shell Smash on Minior. If it has the right coverage, it Shell Smashes into damage. That's where things get pretty cool. Now, another thing that's actually kind of been out there for a while, well, at least November 3rd, so a few days from the most recent Pokemon Sun and Moon live action video, once again, is that Mimikyu, we actually get to see Mimikyu for a very brief amount of time, and we see its hit points. So we can start piecing together Mimikyu's competitive stats in a way. Now here's where things start getting weird. That a lot of Pokemon that we have seen from the trailers and being shown in like the hit points and stuff, they have 0 EVs and 0 IVs. I don't know if they just like code in a blank Pokemon for display purposes effectively, or if there's actually like something else weird going on when they're like using the Pokemon. But we've seen this on Pokemon like Salamence and other existing Pokemon that we calculated. It turns out to be 0/0, so we can assume that for other Pokemon that are shown, like the Mimikyu. So with Mimikyu, 0/0, level 50, 130 means it has a 70 base hit points. Not fantastic. Not the worst thing though, so fairly average. So I brought up the list of Pokemon that are not a part of evolutionary lines because I am desperate. I want to know how much potential Mimikyu is going to have. Now the 70 base hit points, it's okay. It's not insane like something that we get out of a Kangaskhan or even a Miltank, but these Pokemon are just tanky Pokemon. They also have like a lot of bulk behind them. So I was looking at other Pokemon for like the average base stats and stuff, and some of these non-evolutionary line Pokemon have 500 base stat total. They have respectable stats, so maybe Mimikyu can kind of squeeze in there like Spiritomb. I think a Spiritomb is a decent comparison, that it has a 490 base stat total. It has some really high defenses and lower hit points. So maybe Mimikyu, good defenses, good hit points, that could work out. We also do have to take the disguise ability into consideration as well. That it does have that ability to where it's not going to take damage for that one hit. So that's effectively more hit points, but that is its ability. Once it goes away, it just kind of goes away, which means we have to like kind of look more into it. And then I was just kind of like comparing it to other Pokemon, trying to see how many more hit points we can get out of it. So Furfrou, now I don't think my screen region is properly set up to show up. Yeah, Furfrou is a 472. So if Mimikyu gets decent speed, it actually doesn't have a lot of crazy stats. So hopefully it has like, you know, 10, 20 on the attack. You know, if it has like nothing on its base attack and it's going to be just a pure special attack or something like that, or maybe it has like a weird defensive spread with some speed involved, it could actually be usable. That's all I want to know, is how usable Mimikyu is going to be. At least it's a good start. That it doesn't have abysmal hit points, especially as a ghost type Pokemon. That we see Pokemon like Rotom, you know, if we bring out Rotom Wash, it seems like a really tanky Pokemon, but actually it's mostly just in the defenses. That has 50 base hit points and then 100 in the defenses. I believe I did math a while ago, and Spiritomb is actually tankier than Rotom, but it just doesn't have like the kind of utility and moveset that Rotom does to make it a lot more interesting. But we're in that position right there to where, okay, more base hit points. So that means if it gets like 90s in defenses, it's going to be effectively as tanky as one of these very tanky Pokemon with the free in on the decoy. So if it does get some setup, might be a little bit more usable. So that's some looking at the Mimikyu right there. And then I wanted to finish up this video with something from my most recent video. So I was talking about, you know, how do we get a Pokemon to level 100 in the demo? Is it possible? Is there a way of getting around the no fun zone that is the Pokemon Sun and Moon demo? Like, I liked it, but I wish there was a little more. It felt a lot more empty than the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire demo, but that's where the discussion in tinfoil hat. So guys, go out, grab your tinfoil hat, put it on right now, because things are about to get weird. So, I already did this, and just to let you know, the overall cap for the demo is level 37. I actually didn't know this. I got a Pokemon to like level 36, and I was like, I don't want to grind anymore. I'm just going to do the math. And then I did the math, and I found out that if there was no cap, you could theoretically get a Pokemon to like level 60, 70, or something like that. Because there's several 100,000 experience to be gained if you play it absolutely perfectly. But all Pokemon in the demo stop leveling at level 37. So that's a pretty big dang moment right there. Also, I got an idea. Catch Pikachu and give it Electrium Z, and then you don't lose PP. Except it does actually cost PP to use a Z move. So we didn't get that out of there. But this is the weird one. Why would there be a hard cap on all the Pokemon in the demo? Even the Pokemon that you catch in the wild that you have to release. Like, why does it just end there? I like the fun of being able to get that level 100 Swampert. I like the idea of being able to just play the game and have a little bit of free form in that demo. But no, it's a hard cap at level 37 for everything. Which is why I'm wondering, okay, how did the demo get data mined so well? The game is locked down. That even like some of the moves are obfuscated, only certain moves are allowed if they're used by the Pokemon that are actually in the demo. You know, we actually have all the other moves replaced with Pound. We don't know, we just know slots, we don't know names, we don't know typings, we don't know anything. Why remove the name, the type, the ability, the stats of a Pokemon, and then actually leave in its sprite? Be able to hack in the game to where it has like an animation. Why is Kyogre's Primal Reversion animation in the demo, but we can't get a Pokemon past level 37? Something seems fishy. Like, there's still a small bit of people, actually, I don't even know what the split is right now, it might even be 50-50, of people that believe there's still more to be discovered in the Pokemon Sun and Moon demo. I'm personally 50-50 on it myself. I'd understand if that was everything in the league, but this was way too weird of a scenario. And then, like, the more you look into the demo, the more you look into the other things going on about it, why scrub everything and then put in that, but then only introduce 80 new Pokemon? When we're supposed to have a larger region. We've already introduced, like, all officially revealed, there's been 60 Pokemon. So we have 3/4 of the leaked roster revealed. Seems like there should be just a little more, right? Also, there's like some incomplete evolutionary lines. A few things seem lacking, so it almost seems like if this was an intentional move, if more Pokemon turn out to be in Pokemon Sun and Moon, then that was like the greatest play Game Freak has ever made, because it gave them a lot of PR. It really made the community blow up about the game before the game came out. We also got more push out of the demo as people went and discovered it and stuff. And then it would show that Game Freak is, I wouldn't say onto us, but they might actually know what's up. They aren't just giving away everything for free. I'd really like to know that. I would really like to know that Game Freak isn't underestimating the data mines. It's like, okay, we can put this in there if they find it. Cool, they found some, they got some new leaks to go for. If they don't find it, well, then we still haven't revealed all of our roster anyway. So it's a good thing either way. Now that is like super tinfoil conspiracy hat theory, but it does bring up those interesting points with what's going on in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it still leaves mystery. Like, we're not going to know until the game comes out. So even with quote-unquote every Pokemon leaked, we still don't believe it. Or at least a lot of people still don't believe it. There's that mystery about it. So no matter how much information we get, the game is still feeling fresh, and that is a great thing in Pokemon Sun and Moon. And then in the video, do a Pokemon Generations episode. It was cool. I wasn't, like, the biggest fan of it, because it was just mostly, like, people saying, Master Cyrus! Master Cyrus! For like half of it, and then the rest of it is like you just get to see him that, you know, he wants to create a new world, and then he ends up in Giratina's world, so it kind of like crosses over into the platinum version of the game, and then GG right there. I do like the representation of the alternate dimension though, that we have like the upside down waterfalls and all the turned around stuff, so it got good representation. I just feel like that with the, similar to the Archie storyline, good story, just bad dialogue because of how the people actually are. Like, I think he was actually represented really well, but the dialogue around him isn't too much else. You know, he's just a stern guy that wants to create a new world, and then he ends up being pleased with himself in the end, so it's alright. Turns out to be that thing. I think that's all the news that we have for Pokemon today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.